To order the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on Monday, March 2nd, 2026. I'd ask that you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Tamer, please call the roll.
Toludo.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Nudera.
Here.
Virgil.
Here.
Nardini.
Here.
Bastido.
Here.
Irby.
Here.
Brennan.
Here.
Bellinger.
Here.
Varimus. Here. Schenko. Here. Hill.
Here.
Graham.
Here.
Jensen.
Here.
14 present, 0 absent.
14 present, 0 absent. We have a quorum. Thank you. We're going to start off tonight with a presentation on the Bike-Friendly Community Award. And I think you're going to join me at the podium. Yeah. So we've got the Walker Roller, we've changed the name.
No, Walk and Roller City Working Group.
Walk and Roller City Working, oh, same one, all right. I'd like to have you guys come up and stand up here with us because you guys have done all the hard work. And by way of introduction, I think it was probably a couple of years ago, I met with some of the aldermen right up here. And we were talking about making Elmhurst a walker and bicyclist and whatever kind of, I'll say, man-powered wheels you might have, friendly community. I think Alderman Deuter, Alderman Brennan, Alderman Dunn, and I asked them to meet with me as we were approached by a group that wanted to take on this work. And this was one of those efforts where we formed a group. There were a lot of volunteers, and it was so productive that they asked if they could add a couple more, and we did that, and we've achieved a special designation, which we're going to talk about tonight. And Mike LaCicero has chaired it from the beginning, and so I'm going to turn over to Mike, and if you want to talk a little bit about what we're doing today and introduce any of the people you want to introduce. I hope it's all of them on the group.
I can. So good evening. As the mayor said, the Walk and Rollers Group was created as a result of the Bike and Ped plan that the city approved several years ago. So our group was constituted with the charge of helping to promote and advocate for safer walking and biking in town. And as part of that, the group decided that we should pursue a prestigious award, which is the award given by the American League of Cyclists to get a community designated as bike-friendly community. Once upon a time, back in 2013, we had that designation, and that designation lasts for 4 years, but we lost it because we didn't renew it. So we took it upon ourselves to go through the application process to try to get that, and we're happy tonight to have representatives from the league here to make a presentation because the city was found to be successful and we got reestablished at our bronze level capacity. Here tonight are members of the Walk and Rollers. All but one member are here. We have Art Slewinski, Chris Wall, Kim McCarthy, Alex Smith, Lisa Tilson, Victoria Ledkowski, co-chair Armelene Moretti. Alex Smith was instrumental in spearheading the effort of getting this whole process done. And without the help of the city and staff and the police department and the fire department to get this application process done, took us about 8 to 9 months from start to finish, but we were successful in getting that. So we're really pleased. We really appreciate city staff's efforts in helping us compile this information. Also had some help from District 205 as well. So we have a representative from the league who'd like to make the presentation, I think, to the mayor.
Yeah, absolutely. May I say a few words?
Please.
Well, thanks so much for the introduction. I'm Kevin Deckinga. I am Director of Membership and Development with the League of American Bicyclists. We're the national bike advocacy organization in Washington, D.C. It's my honor to be here with you all today to present Elmhurst with a well-deserved Bronze Bicycle Friendly America Community designation. Elmhurst has shown steady improvement in their programming and accommodations for bicycling since their first application way back in 2011, and I hope this award sparks the next wave of momentum to keep improving and making life better for the people who call Elmhurst home. I want to make sure that I thank both Mayor Scott Levin and especially Alex Smith for spearheading this work. There's so many highlights from the application that stood out to us at the League. I mean, first of all, is this mayor-appointed committee, the Walk and Rollers, for doing all of this great work, for playing an active role in promoting bicycle-friendly initiatives, for providing input on infrastructure planning and supporting public outreach and education. Also, the very bold vision that Elmhurst has set in front of itself with the bicycle and pedestrian plan, providing that they're working methodically and thoughtfully in this guide work to build a transportation system rich in active travel and recreation opportunities for all adults and kids. And just a few highlights: expanded on-street bike networks and pedestrian street upgrades, refuge islands, curb bump outs, the complete streets policy, bike parking ordinance, building bike boulevards, a traffic garden. I mean, there's so much to be proud of. Thank you so much for all of your great work. Since 2002, the League of American Bicyclists, our Bicycle Friendly America program, has accepted over 2,300 applications to this program from over 900 communities, and there's over 440 bicycle-friendly communities now in all 50 states. Elmhurst designation is a testament to this community and their dedication to seeing real change on the ground. So thank you so much and congratulations on this well-deserved award. Great. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, once again, thank you to all the people on the Walker Roller Group that put in all this hard work. This is a remarkable achievement, and I'm glad we got to step one bronze level. We're going to move on to item 3, which is the receipt of written communications from the public. Is there anyone that has a written communication that he or she would like to deliver to the council? If so, please raise your hand.
There are a couple posted.
All right, there are a couple posted. We move on to public forum. Clerk Tamer, anyone signed up for a public forum?
Yes, Mayor. Corey Christmas.
All right, so you'll use the back microphone. I'll ask you when you start to state your name. Address is optional. It helps us get back to you if we need to. You have 3 minutes to address on any topic you want. I do want to point out, and I haven't always, that it's an opportunity for the speaker to address the council. We generally do not respond. It doesn't mean we're not listening to what you say, but our format is an opportunity for you to talk to us. So if you'll proceed, state your name, and
Sure.
we're off.
I'm Corey Christmas. I'm the owner of the address that's directly adjacent to the new island construction proposed project. So I'm here to, one, do a restatement of the formal objection that I made for the variance back in January, and then I followed it up with a formal protest letter for the map amendment. Given the hardships that I think that property is going to impose upon me as well as other folks that are adjacent to that property. For example, one, I just made a pretty large capital investment in my backyard, and now I'm being told that there's going to be 5 townhomes with recessed balconies that are going to be looking into my backyard, which obviously I don't care to have that. I didn't buy this property thinking that I was going to have this imposition upon me. Secondly, I think the variance in the squeezing of 5 townhomes into a 0.3 acre lot is candidly going to look pretty janky. I know the variance request was supposed to be like 15 to 20 feet, and now it's being requested that it moves down to like 3 to 5. Candidly, I think that looks horrible. I think it's going to be a negative aesthetic on the neighborhood. Not to mention, it's also the proposed property at 240 Northwest Avenue is also on a tilt. It's like slanted to try and fit the 5, which all the more reason means that the property should not be a 5-unit property. It may be better served to be a 3-unit property. I also think that there should be a reorientation of the property itself so that myself and the surrounding properties don't have to worry about people looking into their properties, into their backyard. Obviously, as a homeowner here in Elmhurst, we expect that there's going to be a level of privacy and comfort when we moved here, and I expect that privacy and comfort to be maintained by the City Council in reviewing a solution like this for a new project. In the event you guys have already made a decision that this map amendment is going through, then I expect some level of grace upon the surrounding properties to do some things around light pollution, noise pollution, as well as being able to put privacy screens up. Again, I spent a lot of money on my backyard. I don't want people looking into it, so if you're going to approve this map amendment, my expectation is that you put into the record a binding contingency that he has to put up 15-foot pines to block access into my property, as well as all the things that I stated in my most recent letter a couple of nights ago. For the record, so like I don't need light pollution. I expect that the lights, whatever they may be on this property, are low light. They don't impose upon me at night or my family or the surrounding properties. I also, I don't know what it's going to look like from a trash pickup perspective, but I would imagine if you guys are going to squeeze 5 properties into that, most likely it's going to be a couple of 1-yard dumpsters, which again is going to be a noise pollution issue. And again, just completely disrupting sort of the sanctity of that house that I purchased a couple years ago. So that's the concessions that I'm making, and hopefully you guys will look upon yourselves to consider this map amendment something that you guys can deny, at least for right now, until we figure out what's the best opportunity for the city.
Thank you, Mr. Christmas.
Thank you.
Mike LaCicero.
Yeah, it's me again. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Manager
State your name
Grabowski.
for the record, please. I know who you are, but
Michael LaCicero,
Thank you.
659 Cedar, Elmhurst. Here on behalf of the Walk and Rollers again, to express our gratitude to the Public Affairs and Safety Committee, Chairman Brennan, and the other members of the committee for their hard work and diligence in coming up with a report on a local ordinance that they're going to suggest tonight. I think it's on the agenda to make it safer to bike in Elmhurst. We think it's a good first step in going forward. A lot of chaos out there with e-scooters, e-bikes, and e-motos. We appreciated our involvement with the committee in coming up with a proposal. We hope the council considers it and enacts a local ordinance to protect our kids and make it safer, more safe again in Elmhurst to bike and walk. And maybe now we're bronze level, but maybe someday we'll be golden. Thank you.
thank you.
That's all that signed up.
All right, those are the 2 individuals who signed up to make public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to do so but did not have an opportunity to sign in? If so, please raise your hand. Seeing none, we will close public forum at this time. Move on to item 5, announcements. Are there any announcements from the dais? Alderman Virgil.
So I just want to let folks know that we'll have a Ward 5 Town Hall meeting coming up on Thursday, March 26th. It will be here in this room at 7 p.m. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right,
There's a couple.
oh, Clerk Tamer.
That's okay. Okay, today, early voting began at City Hall. More information is on the city website, but council chambers will serve as an early voting location Monday, March 2nd through Monday, March 16th. Early voting hours are weekdays 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and weekends from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. One other announcement from the Youth Commission. We have Tony Hoffman coming to York High School in partnership with the D205 Foundation and D205 PTA Council, and thank you to Alderman Schenko as being instrumental for the council. But we're welcoming Tony Hoffman to Elmhurst. Tony will talk about turning his struggles in adolescence to a lifetime of hope. He'll focus on addiction, mental health, and prevention, appropriate for grades 6 and over, and it'll be at York's Auditorium on this Thursday at 7 p.m.
Are the Youth Commission, Youth Awards still open, nominations?
The awards are still open, the nominations, until April 1st. So if anyone has anybody in mind that has done exemplary youth service, please go on the city website under Youth Commission. You'll find the form to submit.
Very good. Thank you, Clerk Tamer. And if I may ask you, under item 6 now, to please read the consent agenda.
Yes. Oh, here it is. Okay. 6.1, minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on February 17th, 2026. 6.2, executive session minutes of the City Council of Elmhurst on February 17th, 2026. 6.3, accounts payable, March 2nd, 2026, $10,246,468.40. 6.4, referral, review of municipal code, sections 2.06 DD and 2.09G. 6.5, report, case number 25P08, Island Construction Map Amendment and Variations. 6.6, report, North York TIF to 4 distribution. 6.7, report, 2026 Elmhurst French Market. 6.8, report, Dan Gibbons Turkey Trot Foundation, second annual Twilight Trot. 6.9, report, streetlight controller upgrades. 6.10, report, 2026 water main improvements, construction engineering services. 6.11, report, 2026 water main improvements, construction bids. 6.12, report, 2026 street resurfacing program, resident engineering services. 6.13, report, 2026 street resurfacing program, construction bids. 6.14, an ordinance amending 16.11 entitled Service Charges of Chapter 16 entitled Garbage and Rubbish of the Municipal Code of the Ordinances of the City of Elmhurst, Illinois. 6.15, an ordinance amending Section 44.74 entitled Yield Right-of-Way Streets of Article 5 entitled Driving, Overtaking, and Passing of Chapter 44 entitled Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the Elmhurst Municipal Code. 6.15, an ordinance amending Section 44.92 entitled Stop Intersections enumerated of Article 6 entitled Special Stops of Chapter 44 entitled Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the Elmhurst Municipal Code. 6.17, an ordinance amending Section 44.31 entitled Speed Limits on Certain Streets, 20 miles per hour, and Section 44.32 entitled Speed Limits on Certain Streets, 25 miles per hour, of Article 4 entitled Speed Restrictions of Chapter 44 entitled Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the Elmhurst Municipal Code. 6.18, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a non-exclusive license agreement by and between the Elmhurst Running Club, Inc. and the City of Elmhurst, DuPage, and Cook Counties, Illinois. 6.19, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a non-exclusive license agreement by and between the Spring Road Business Association, the City of Elmhurst, DuPage, and Cook Counties, Illinois. 6.20, an ordinance waiving bid and authorizing the execution of a contract between Aries Charter Transportation, Inc. and the City of Elmhurst for services related to the 2026 Explore Elmhurst Trolley Program. 6.21, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Engineering Resource Associates, Inc. for plan review services. 6.22, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a professional Phase 1 design engineering services agreement by and between GFT Infrastructure, Inc. and the City of Elmhurst for the York Street resurfacing between Jackson Street and South Street Local Agency Functional Overlay Roadway and Prairie Path Crossing Improvement Project. 6.23, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a professional construction engineering services agreement between the City of Elmhurst, Illinois and Jewelt Hamilton Associates, Inc. for the Northwest Elmhurst Streets Reconstruction Project. 6.24, a resolution authorizing the execution of change order number 1 for the Northwest Elmhurst Roadway Reconstruction Project. And 6.25, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award in contract for the Northwest Elmhurst Roadway Reconstruction Project of the City of Elmhurst, Illinois.
All righty, thank you. Is there any item on the consent agenda that any alderman would like to remove, either for further discussion or to vote against? Alderman Irby,
Thank you, Mayor. 6.5.
6.5. All right, seeing no others, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda minus 6.5? Alderman Virgil with a motion, Alderman Bellinger with a second. Clerk Tamer, please call the roll.
Toludo?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Nudera?
Aye.
Virgil?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Bastido?
Aye.
Irby?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Verimas? Aye. Bellinger?
Aye.
Schenko? Aye. Hill?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
14 ayes, 0 nays.
14 ayes, 0 nays. The consent agenda minus 6.5 passes. Clerk Tamer, please read the report for 6.5.
It is therefore the recommendation of the Finance, Council Affairs, and Administrative Services Committee that the City Council approve the distribution to...
No, maybe we're out of order here.
That is 6.5, right?
But we have, I'm sorry, for those, we had an adjustment on the agenda, so
Is it the
6.5
referral?
is the island, yeah.
Okay, sorry, guys.
Freaking me out.
You are pulling the report. What are we pulling?
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
That is the one.
All right, so please read the
let
report.
me, let me go back. Okay. Therefore, the Development Planning and Zoning Committee recommends that the City Council approve the amendments and variations requested for the properties commonly known as 241 Northwest Avenue, 245 Northwest Avenue, 503 West 3rd Street, and 240 Northwest Avenue, Elmhurst, Illinois.
All right, can I have a
The
motion?
city-
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. The city attorney is hereby directed to prepare the necessary documents for city council approval, signed Alderman Chris Johnson, Chair, Alderman Jennifer Verimas, Vice Chair, and Alderman Guido Nardini.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve 6.5? Alderman Jensen with a motion, Alderman Veramus with a second. Alderman Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a
Now,
report.
Alderman Jensen, if you'll pull the microphone down, please. Thank you.
This is a report on the map amendment and variations for the island construction project at West and Third. We've looked at this over the course of, I believe, was that 4 meetings? Is that right? It's been on our agenda for a while. We looked at it every which way. We concurred with the report from Zoning and Planning Commission. The map amendment in that report was unanimous. The variations were 5-1 in support, and we agreed with their assessment, and we asked for your approval.
Thank you. Discussion. Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Chair Jensen, for doing the work on this. This is a project that involves 13 townhomes on West Avenue and 3rd. It's on both sides of the street, east and west, with West Avenue being the dividing point between those two, what they're calling the west lobe and the east lobe. So there's 5 on one side, and I believe there's 8 on the other. That makes 13, if my math is right. I am for the townhomes. The reason I got involved because some constituents reached out to me, and I had to educate myself on what this matter was. And as I learned about this, I saw there were some issues and kept on going into the deep dive. So there's a map amendment. There's 2 map amendments. There's one for the west side, which is a 01 designation, if I remember correctly. If I misstate anything, please stop me and correct me. That's going to an R4 designation. And on the east side, with the 8 properties, that is a C2, commercial 2 district, going to an R4. So a little bit getting busy there. The variances, read through the transcripts. There were 2 sets of transcripts in ZPZ. They had 2 hearings. There was a dissenting vote on the variances. The map amendment passed unanimous. So I wanted to know why that person on that committee voted no, or dissented. And it was due to mainly the large variances. So when you have a variance at 20% or lower, those are lower thresholds, easier to check the boxes on, and outside of the four corners of the document that ZPZ does, when it comes to council, those are pretty easy to understand, and they don't have a lot of other implications beyond the four corners of the document. That's why we're on council, is to look at these zoning cases and go beyond the four corners of the document. So I did that. I kept on going. And as I kept on going, I kept seeing more problems. So just to wrap this up in 10 seconds here is I will be voting no because of these issues. Without getting into detail, I don't think that's pertinent tonight for me personally. But if once you do get into these details, you realize there are issues. And a 75% variance and a 54% variance and a tolerable 4.3 on the very unusual density one due to the R4 district, which is very unusual from my experience on council, which is not that deep compared to others. I'm going to be saying no. So at this point, I'll turn my time back to the mayor.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, please call the roll on 6.5.
Toludo.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Nudera.
Aye.
Virgil.
Aye.
Nardini.
Aye.
Cristito.
Aye.
Irby.
No.
Brennan.
Aye.
Barimas. Aye. Bellinger.
Aye.
Schenko.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
13 ayes, 1 nay.
13 ayes, 1 nay, 6.5 passes. Move on to committee reports. 7.1, we have a report on city e-bike and mobility device regulations. So I guess you have Clerk Hamer read it.
Therefore, the Public Affairs and Safety Committee recommends the City Council approve the local regulation of electric bicycles, electric scooters, and other personal mobility devices as outlined by the report, and that the city attorney be directed to prepare the necessary documents to adopt these regulations by ordinance. Signed, Alderman Michael Brennan, Chair, Alderman Karen Schenko, Vice Chair, and Alderman Brian Bellinger.
May I have a motion to approve 7.1? Alderman Brennan with the motion, Alderman Schenko with the second, Alderman Brennan.
Thank you, Mayor. So, the report before us tonight took a little getting to. There was a lot of discussion. I think going into it, it was very clear from just the alderman seat. I witnessed a lot of close disasters with e-bikes and e-scooters in my block. I don't have to go very far. But as alderman, I also got calls from residents, gravely concerned with, sort of the trends that they were seeing in their neighborhoods as well. And I would like to believe that I'm probably more the norm, and you all are hearing from the residents as well with respect to this. So as we started digging into it, we did come to the conclusion that there are a lot of gaps down with the state legislation that's in place today. And so therefore, we had a report at one time that was, pretty comprehensive and really had a lot of teeth to it. The good news is there's a bill in front of our state legislators that will significantly improve the regulations for e-bikes and e-scooters. So with that pending movement, we didn't want to have all local ordinance and have to unwind it potentially with some of the new state regulations that are coming down. So we scaled back the report quite a bit. And we really focus on immediate concerns for the city. The first was pedestrian safety. We have a zone within Elmhurst where we have density and a lot of people, a lot of pedestrians walking on the sidewalks. I think, the business districts in particular find themselves in this zone. With that, we have walk your wheel zones. So even before e-bikes and e-scooters, you enter this zone and you will see a sign that says no skateboards, no bikes, et cetera, et cetera. So what we're proposing here is that we expand that to include all the e-bikes and the e-scooters as well, and any personal, device. So that's one pillar in the report, and that will serve us well locally in those business districts. The second, void that we have in our current ordinance is that, do we have the ability to cite or to, do a local citation? And because of the way things are set up today, if Elmhurst Police wrote a citation with respect to an accident or something of that nature, it would be a state citation because we didn't have anything in our current ordinance locally to where the adjudication, could go through a local process. So that's a pretty big deal. I mean, we want to be a friendly community. We do want to write a citation where one is warranted, but we don't want it to be so punitive and so cumbersome. So we wanted to make sure that we had the ability for Elmhurst Police to leverage existing regulations downstate for e-bikes and e-scooters, but have the ability to write a local citation, versus a state. And then the third pillar is that I see this a lot. We see, non-highway vehicles, non-highway motorcycles, personal mobile devices with electric motors that they go pretty fast, and they have nothing on them that resemble street legal, capabilities. So we want to prohibit those on our streets, right? With this report and our local ordinance. This would include things like ATVs, golf carts that aren't properly equipped to be on the road, et cetera. So at the end of the day, where the police would come across this type of vehicle, we need to make sure that the police is authorized to impound that vehicle, because you think about it, they're out riding this thing illegally on the streets. The police can't write a citation and they just say, hey, have a good night and work your way home. So the police in this particular use case, if they were to do a citation or somebody was riding one of these vehicles in town, they would actually impound the apparatus, and they'd have to go through some process. The resident would have to go through some process to recover the vehicle or device. So other provisions in the report that are pertinent: a citation will cost $80. It'll prohibit an adult from knowingly permitting a minor child to illegally operate an e-bike or e-scooter, personal mobility device, non-highway vehicle, motorcycle, in violation on city streets, sidewalks, and paths. And the concept here is really to put some accountability on the parents to make sure that they understand what they're purchasing for their kids, and and hopefully with education, some other things that we want to do from a staff perspective. We want a simplified message to get out to our residents so they understand what are the constraints of these devices, and hopefully align with those. So lastly, we talked about helmets and education. We think that's super important. We don't mandate helmets. We don't mandate education. We don't mandate the registration of these devices, but we strongly feel that it should be considered, as a parent or a user of these devices. So at a high level, I just want to cover, what are some of the key aspects of the state law. Because if you read it, it'd take you some time, I think, to really, get down to a really simple version.
Alderman Brennan, is this the proposed or existing you're going to discuss?
This is existing.
Thank you.
But even with the existing, so the existing will, very good question, by the way. This is existing. We can live with the existing for a period of time because we have visibility of what's in the bill. The bill is going to clean up and make this a lot more simple for our community to interpret and understand it. So as of today, this is what we need to deal with as residents of Elmhurst. So e-bikes, there are 3 different classifications of e-bikes, class 1, 2, and 3. So for class 1 and 2 bikes, there's currently no age restriction to them. Class 3 e-bikes, and I'm not going to get into the details of what all these classes are, but if you went out, it's pretty clear that, for example, class 3 is just a much faster, apparatus. So class 3 e-bikes do have an age restriction. You have to be 16 to even own a class 3 bike. So passengers are allowed, but certain conditions apply. Such as an operator, the operator age, I think it's 18. Passenger age, I think it has to be less than 16. And the bike has to be built for multiple riders as well. So all e-bikes must be ridden on the street, not the sidewalks. That's really key. So I'll get to that in my summation. But so for e-scooters, e-scooters have an age restriction of 18. So passengers are prohibited, and all e-scooters and personal mobile devices, must be ridden in the street unless permitted under state law. And so there's this nomenclature of e-scooters, low speed under 10 miles an hour, above 10 miles an hour. It gets somewhat complicated. But at the end of the day, to ride an e-scooter, you're supposed to be the age of 18. So my plea to the parents, for the safety of our children, for the safety of our neighbors, please take all this into consideration before purchasing these devices. Even though a child can legally ride a Class 1 or Class 2 e-bike, does that child understand the rules of the road if they're going to be in the streets? And I can attest that all the time I walk outside my door and there are kids riding down the street like their hair's on fire and they go through a yield sign. They don't even look either way. It's just a matter of time, and we've had a few accidents in town. I feel that we've been very lucky. And I think as the summer months, spring and summer months and fall months are ahead of us, we're going to see more and more activity. So this is certainly one of those things that goes a little dormant, in the wintertime. So, I would challenge the parent. Do you feel that they're capable to manage, this e-bike on the street? And if not, this is not a safe situation to put them in. And so I do ask the parents to take a harder look at both e-scooters and e-bikes. So anyone riding e-devices, whether it's a bike or a scooter, on the sidewalk, it's created an unsafe environment, for pedestrians and for the residents backing out from their homes. These vehicles go fast enough to where you'll look once and they're not in your eyesight, and you back up thinking the coast is clear, and before you know it, either they're hitting you right in the side of the car or you're hitting them as they're, barreling past your driveway. So when Springfield does revisit the e-bike and e-scooter legislation, I expect another referral to come through council so we can take a look at the new revisions to the state law and determine is there anything else that we would, further recommend for our local ordinance. But the committee felt with everything that's in this report, everything that's in place in the current state statute, that we can put that in place, and that's good enough for right now. And again, we want to work on the education as well as not only the education of, safety around operating these devices, but also just, understanding what's lawful and what's not. So I'd like to thank staff, Chief McLean, there he is back there, put a lot of time into this, the Elmhurst Walk and Rollers Working Group. Mr. LaCicero, I think he's a permanent member on my committee, but anyways, that's here nor there. We have a seat for you. So with that, I'm asking for everybody's support and on this very important, safety report, and I'll turn it back to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Alderman Dudera.
This question's for Alderman Brennan. Is there any issue with reflectors on these e-bikes that are going to be on the streets? Does the state have any regulations to have reflectors? Because to be honest with you, everybody's dressing in dark colored clothes on these bikes, and now they're on the street. It would be a good idea to have some type of reflectors so people can see them.
So there are level of requirements that, for that. We didn't get to that level, or I didn't get to that level in my overview of what's in the state statute. That said, there are some restrictions or requirements. That said, that is one area that, when we do have this next wave, this bill that comes through, I want to see where we land with that and make sure that that's appropriate. Because especially in these shoulder months where it gets dark pretty quickly. You may not think you're going to be out in the dark, but before you know it, you're like, oh, I should have left 15 minutes ago, and it's dark. Summer months it's less of an issue, but I understand the point. But there are some requirements that need to be upheld for scooters and e-bikes. But that's one area that we probably should revisit.
Alderman Nardini.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Really briefly, I got to sit in a little bit at Public Affairs and Safety last time as Chief McLean was going through sort of individual bullet points of the current state law. And the one thing I would want to sort of amplify that Chair Brennan said is that if you are out of practice biking, there is technology that exists now that's pretty different, and the notion that every kid should get a bike is a fine idea. I'm a 53-year-old man and it makes absolute sense, but there are some vehicles, there are some technologies that exist right now that, unless you spend a little attention, you think are more or less just like the bike that you had years ago, and they're quiet and motorized and much faster. And reducing cars is a great thing, but anybody who's listening to this, the more that people can be cognizant of what exists that people can be riding on, better to find out about it through a discussion at City Council than an accident that happens. There are things that go much faster than what we grew up with.
Thank you. Additional discussion? Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for that presentation, Chair Brennan. It sounds like from hearing that quite a bit of detail there, that public education seems to would be my number one as a parent or just a person getting on one of these, that if we don't have that public education piece as a part of our policy, procedures, best practice, it seems like we might end up having more accidents. I don't know if that sounds right or wrong, but I know one piece is through the Bike and Rollers group is they have a little pamphlet that you can take a test online, and you can be surprised how difficult it is. It's almost as hard as the driver's test, and that's just one piece of the education model there. So could you speak real quick on what you feel like the number one or two public education pieces would really put a piece of cement down for this?
Well, I mean, that's something that we need to work through. I think you're right. I think we have a group that is well-positioned to guide us and guide the city. It really comes down to, staff and resources and figuring out how to share the knowledge, I guess. And I think we have to work through that. I don't think there's a silver bullet. There are things that are available today. You mentioned one of them, but I know that the group's been, trying to go through District 205 and some other organizations. One of the reasons that we felt it is important for us to move this along and not wait for the legislation to clear Springfield was because we do want to get in front of this and have a fighting chance of getting some District 205 assistance with getting some of these concepts out there in their community, because that's really the target audience when you think about it. And it's not just the high school, it's all of District 205 and those ages. So it's something that we need to work on. We have certain things in place today that could be pushed out, but it's really getting people interested in the consumption of that collateral and information.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. I think we're ready to call the roll on 7.1. Thank you, Chair Brennan.
Thank you.
Choluto?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Nudera?
Aye.
Virgil?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Estido?
Aye.
Irby?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Varimus? Bellinger?
Aye.
Schenko?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
14 ayes, 0 nays.
14 ayes, 0 nays. Report 7.1 passes. On to item 8, reports and recommendations of appointed elected officials. Mayor Levin, I have 3 that we received, I think it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago when Alderman Chuy Garcia asked if he called me and said, do you have any projects that you would like to apply for? And in consultation with staff, we highlighted the need for technology in our police department. And he put us in for a $750,000 police department technology grant, which was approved, but with the funding uncertainty in Washington, we were not sure we were going to get it. It did come through. I was out of town last week, and as Chair of Public Safety, I asked Mike Brennan to attend with Chief McLean, and they brought back an oversized $750,000 check, which I signed on the back. So we appreciate Congressman Garcia's efforts on that, and as we build the new police station, it's good to know that we will have a jump on getting the technology installed that will keep up with the new police station.
Mayor.
Yes.
Just real quick, I just want you to know, I don't know if you saw the picture, but I did wear a tie out of respect for, I knew you would have shown up in a suit and tie.
I was watching,
so,
thank
you.
Item 2 is, I think all of the aldermen will have on the, you're in front of you, we're having a progressive tour of some of our senior housing, and I don't want you to, if you're not a progressive politically, this is more like a progressive dinner. We're going from place to place, And we're probably going to do a couple of these. I will, of course, going to be there. It's on April 25th from 9 to noon. And we're going to make a couple different stops so that if you're interested in seeing what kinds of facilities we have in Elmhurst, so that the city council is aware, this is sponsored by our Senior Citizens Commission, including the Housing Committee. It's a good opportunity to see what's available in town. Lastly, our St. Patrick's Day Parade is this coming Saturday, one of the highlights of social life in Elmhurst. It kicks off at noon, and I hope you'll all join us for that. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. 2 items. Next Monday, after our regular committee meetings, we will have a committee of the whole in this room starting at 8 o'clock, and that is for an overview of the zoning ordinance rewrite. So the consultant that helped us will be here to explain to the entire council how we went about this, and then it will be sent to the DPZ committee for review and then a report back to City Council. And the other item I have is that vehicle stickers went on sale today. Forms were mailed to people's homes. I received mine over the weekend, so they're available online purchase. You can send those forms back in via mail, or you can come and see us here at City Hall. Thank you.
Well, City Manager, since you helped me write my comments, one thing you didn't put in was that I see our City Manager has announced his retirement. I don't know if you were aware of this. It has been made public that City Manager Grabowski is going to be retiring after a 15-year career with us, which we are all quite thankful for. He's not rushing out just yet, but we are going to be hiring a consultant to help guide us as we did back in 2011 or 2010? 2011, when City Manager Grabowski came to us, so we're thankful for the time we had with him. There'll be more on that in the future, but I did want to acknowledge that. Any other announcements from the dais? All right, we'll move on to item 9, ordinances. Clerk Tamer, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance providing for the issuance of approximately 11,210,000 general obligation bonds, Series 2026 of the City of Elmhurst, DuPage and Cook Counties, Illinois, for the purpose of financing certain capital improvements within said city, refunding certain outstanding general obligation bonds of said city, and paying the expenses incident thereto, providing for the levy and collection of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof.
All right, and City Manager, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mayor and City Clerk, but the number was updated after the bond sale today, and so on the online agenda, that issuance is approximately $10,995,000. Sorry
Very
about
good.
that, Clerk Tamer.
Okay.
May I have a motion to approve the ordinance? Alderman Toledo with a motion, Alderman Nudera with a second. Would you like to speak, Alderman Toledo? Chair Toledo?
Sure. I will invite our representative by the name of Mark Giarantina from Spear Financial to the microphone. He is from the company that assists us in the bond sale and can give an overview, and then I'll wrap up after that. Thank you.
I think we have to give the commercial Spear Financial, but all right.
I think I said that.
Did you? You said the company. I don't know if you said it.
Good evening. So this morning we did hold an auction for the city's general obligation bonds, Series 2026, and we received significant interest from the bond market. There were a total of 28 bids from 9 different bidders, and the lowest bid came from JP Morgan Securities with a 2.37% interest rate with a final maturity in 2034. Interest rates on municipal bonds have been trending down over the past few months, so it was a great time for the city to issue these bonds. And the affirmation of the city's AAA bond rating also helped with this low interest rate. A portion of this bond issue refinanced the city's 2015 bonds, resulting in debt service savings of approximately $497,000 over the life of the issue, or 5.8% of refunded principal. The other portion generated $3.5 million for the design and engineering of the city's new police station. The bonds are scheduled to close on March 18th, which is when the city will receive these bond proceeds. Overall, we thought the process went very well, and we'd recommend the low bid by JP Morgan Securities be accepted. be happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
For those, we have some new aldermen
Yeah,
that
sure.
haven't been here, but would you explain when you say we go out and what the process is in terms of how we bid out our bonds?
Sure. So any firm can bid on these bonds that's qualified to do so, and we have an open auction. So why there's 28 bids from 9 different bidders, they can rebid. So if they know they're in second place, but they don't know how far ahead the first place person is. So that's what generates competition, and whoever has the lowest true interest cost is awarded the bonds.
Right, and I just want to add before I open up that because of what we projected for our police station and what the rate that's come in, we're going to save $165,000 on that as well. And before I turn it over for questions, do you want to make any comments, Chair Toledo, or do you want to wait?
Sure. I'll just make a couple comments. Thank you to our finance staff, Director Coyle, the presentation to secure the AAA bond rating. Thank you to Spear Financial. And thank you to the committee. I don't know if it was the prior committee that originally was looking at the police station financing and options for financing. And we had to make a decision that we recommended and the city council agreed with to wait on issuing the $3.5 million with the hopes, looking into the future, that bond rates were going to be trending down. That was in hindsight now, a very good decision to have done that because of the savings that has been generated on getting, we were projecting this bond issue to come in around 3.2%, and it came in at 2.37%. So it is significantly better than we expected, even a couple months ago. And the total savings between the two different numbers that you both spoke about in terms of the refinancing and then the savings on what we expected to have to pay for the police station issue is around $700,000 in net present value. So very good.
Thank you, Chair
Thank you.
Toledo. Other questions for either Mr. Geratina or our Chair of Finance? Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Chair Toledo, for showing that that's that difference between those 2 points in time and that savings. The question I have at the moment is to expand upon and kind of shed some positive light on our bond rating. So if we did not have the bond rating that we have today due to our fabulous city manager who got us, maintains that rating, if we did drop an A, I think we're at AAA, is that correct, city manager?
That's correct, AAA.
So if we went AAA and we went down to a AA, or one step down, what kind of incremental number could you ballpark us from the Chair Toledo's point of those 2 points? What would that be?
Yeah, so one notch would be a AA plus, and it'd probably be roughly 5 to 10 basis points. So you get probably a 2.45 instead of a 2.37, roughly.
So what kind of dollar amount would that be on this bond?
Probably like $50,000, I would say, roughly.
50? All right, thank you.
Right. Other discussion or questions? All right, before we vote on it, I'd like to say, it feels like the Academy Awards, and thank you too. But this is the kind of work that, as we look at our budget and people talk about, do we watch the dollars? We do. We've had the AAA bond rating for at least as long as Alderman Bram's been on the council. And it's not everyone does, and we made good decisions in terms of what the Finance Committee through Chair Toledo led everyone to, that we would wait and bid it out, and it's all worked out. So good work, everyone. Clerk Tamer, if you want to call the roll.
Toledo?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Udera?
Aye.
Virgil?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Bastido? Aye. Irby?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Barimas? Aye. Bellinger?
Aye.
Shanko? Aye. Hill?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Jensen? 14 ayes, 0 nays.
14 ayes, 0 nays. Thank you for your report. And item 10, other business. Is there any other business to be brought before the council this evening? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Vramis with a motion, Alderman Toledo with a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. We are adjourned. Thank you.